Because I said at the end of last year, I said from the start of the Netflix deal in early January until now in WrestleMania weekend, the storytelling and the build got to be crazy. And it's fell flat to me. It's fell flat. Between Saturday and Sunday, you got 13 matches. I can cut that in half and just have one WrestleMania night. And I'm being generous with that. Top of the Top, episode 281, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute, or there's just an episode, some topics you may want to hear about, thank you for tuning in as well. Podcast available on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Like this video as well on YouTube. Also subscribe to your preferred audio platform. Tell a friend to tell another friend. Check out this show. All love is greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. Back from a 2-week break. I needed the break. I went to see some family up in Detroit. Shout out to my family. Love y'all. That was a great time. But it was time to head back down south. Time to get things going with the podcast once again. So I'm glad to have the podcast back in rotation. Hope everyone had a great 2-week break. Hope everybody been getting their money, stacking their money, staying prayed up, minding y'all business, staying healthy, staying out the way as much as possible. If you're from the South, down here where I'm at, this pollen been kicking our ass. So it was good to get away from the pollen for a minute. But I'm glad to be back. This week, though, what better way to come back to talk about WrestleMania? WrestleMania is going down this weekend in Las Vegas. A lot of things I want to talk about first. I want to talk about the build and momentum or lack thereof going into this WrestleMania weekend. And, of course, I'm going to talk about the match cards for night 1 and night 2, give my predictions, talk about those storylines as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Stash House Podcast back in rotation. Let's get to it. So like I said, to start things off, let's talk about the build going into this weekend, WrestleMania. Of course, it's in Las Vegas, so anybody traveling, going to Vegas for WrestleMania weekend, stay safe, be mindful of y'all surroundings, and enjoy yourselves, most importantly, because if you're in Vegas, regardless if it's WrestleMania weekend or not, if you're in Vegas, you spent the bag, and if you're in Vegas going to WrestleMania, you definitely spent the bag. Those prices was crazy. When they announced it last year, it was in Vegas, me and my friends looked at each other like, oh, that's a 420 weekend, Easter weekend, WrestleMania weekend, a lot going on. So we was like, bet. The prices came out, the tickets went on sale. We said, bro, we'll just, probably order some pizza, get some wings or so. Go meet up at somebody's house and we'll watch WrestleMania on Peacock. So if you're at WrestleMania this weekend in Vegas, for your bank account's sake, enjoy yourself. Live life, man. You only got one life to live. Live it to the fullest, because you definitely spent the bag on those WrestleMania tickets and just purely traveling to Las Vegas. So please enjoy yourselves, have a good time, and hopefully to give y'all a great show. Because this build for WrestleMania has kind of fell below expectations for me personally. Now, I think a lot of us who watch wrestling throughout the years, especially for the past 15, 20 years, let's say, we saw the gap between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. I want to say maybe a 2.5 month gap with no PLE. So we're relying on SmackDown and Raw to tell these stories heading into WrestleMania. And they had a lot of ground to cover, but at the same time, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it just feels flat to me. I know that's the narrative going around, but the thing with the wrestling community we got to think about, if it's a majority vote or if it's a majority opinion, maybe it's true, y'all. Maybe it's true. We are out of the phase of, Vince McMahon is out, Triple H storytelling, long-term storytelling, whoop-de-whoop, cinematic feel. We're out of that era now. It was good at first because, it's better than what we was getting from, 2018, 19, and all that. But now we settled in, Netflix deal, we settled in. Now we can just call it how we see it, y'all. And you got to be honest. The feel is not there. Especially from the past year with Cody Rhodes winning last year, beating Roman Reigns. Obviously, it was the beginning of a new era. Most of the baby faces came out. So I was viewing it a little bit different now. Like, okay, we finally got the belt off Roman. We got it on Cody. Let's see what happens. And this WrestleMania season just hasn't been up to par as I wish it would have been. You know what I'm saying? This really goes back to Royal Rumble. Because Royal Rumble, you got Charlotte Flair winning, and you got Jey Uso winning. So now it's like, okay, how you going to tell this story? And I don't want to get too much into the lack of build right now because when I talk about the match card and all that, it'll be more details of why I feel this way. But it's just a lot of things I'm seeing, I'm noticing where it's just like, is it just me or... But then I have conversation with friends, co-workers, people in the wrestling community on TikTok, and I'm seeing videos. I'm like, okay, I know I can't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? So that gap between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania did kind of put them in a bind, in my opinion, because Mania is normally early April, right? I think this is the latest I remember WrestleMania being in a minute. Maybe my memory is slipping, but damn, 420 weekend, Easter weekend, I don't really coincide that with WrestleMania weekend like in years past, but maybe my mind's just slipping. Who knows? But ending off of Elimination Chamber with the John Cena heel turn, I'm like, oh, if they're willing to do this with John Cena in his last year, maybe we got some twists and turns coming for WrestleMania season, but it just been, let's throw something at the wall and see what stick type of vibe for me personally. Like I said, I get more into that when I talk about the match card. But, and I hate to say this, but the addition of, what's the guy name? They're doing a roast that's not being televised. Tony Hinchcliffe, I believe his name is. And he said some foul things about the Hispanic community months ago. You combine that with the Hulk Hogan ads and the Chad Gable storyline, the Gulf of America vibe, and granted, your political views. I'm not here to talk about any political stuff regardless. But it's just like, damn, like, you got Hispanic wrestlers, you got Hispanic fans, I'm sure you got people in production who are Hispanic, and it's like, what are you guys doing? And the Netflix deal really hasn't made the product like I thought it was going to be, you know what I'm saying? Because I said at the end of last year, I said from the start of the Netflix deal in early January until now in WrestleMania weekend, the storytelling and the build got to be crazy. And it's fell flat to me. It's fell flat. Between Saturday and Sunday, you got 13 matches. I can cut that in half and just have one WrestleMania night. And I'm being generous with that. I'm being very generous with that because, to be honest, and I hate to be that guy, y'all know I talk about wrestling on this podcast when it's up, PLE is coming up or something big happens. I can't remember the last time for a WrestleMania event I really could care less who wins or who loses. I'm be honest. I could care less. It's rumors that Jey Uso and Gunther are starting to show off Saturday. If it's not a Gunther win squash match, then I'm throwing in the towel. And the wrestling community is like, oh, you guys talking about you're going to stop watching for a minute, whoop-de-whoop. Y'all think this is the first time we stopped watching wrestling because the product just wasn't up to par? And now you got social media. If I even don't watch, I can just check on Instagram and YouTube and say, oh, this happened, this is interesting, this ain't really worth tuning into. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's not the fact that everybody got to agree. It's the fact that some people are just still in that mode of, well, it's better than what we got before the pandemic. And true. It's not no ridiculous storylines outside of the Chad Gable storyline, in my opinion, but it's just not up to par. It's like, let's throw something at the wall and see what stick. You know what I'm saying? You look at the card for WrestleMania weekend, and the quote-unquote stars of the company are at WrestleMania, but it just doesn't feel that way, especially compared to WrestleMania 39 and WrestleMania 40. It just doesn't feel like everything is clicking right now. It's like, okay, we got Io Sky, we got Bianca Belair, we got Rhea Ripley, even though technically a lot of people say, well, why can't we just have Rhea Ripley versus Bianca or Io Sky versus Bianca? Why does it have to be a triple threat match? Why does it have to be a triple threat match to where, once again, the champion is the odd person out? You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of things I'm seeing. And like I said, I'll talk more about it when I get to the storylines and all that good stuff. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see what happens after WrestleMania. And that's why I say I don't really care who wins and who loses, because we've seen that the belt really doesn't matter. I don't care if it's the Intercontinental belt, U.S. title, whatever, World Heavyweight Championship. It really doesn't matter, because what are the plans for them after WrestleMania? Who wins and who loses? What's the plan? The only storyline, the only person whose story I'm interested in this year is John Cena, simply because he got the heel turn and all that good stuff. And it's his last year being a full-time, last year period, not even full-time. He's retiring after this year. So that's the only person storyline I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to go month to month. We'll see, man. We'll see. But I am on the side of this WrestleMania build has been lackluster. It just been like, ain't nothing really catching my attention. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, coming off the John Cena heel turn, I was thinking, oh, if they're willing to do that, who knows what else they got up their sleeve. And it's been nothing. Honestly, it's been nothing. So that's it for the WrestleMania build. Nothing to really talk about outside of, let me just get to the match cards for night 1 and night 2. And y'all can really see how I feel about WrestleMania weekend. So as of right now, I think night 1 and night 2 matches are set. So if I'm wrong in what matches are on what night, I apologize. But nonetheless, I think all the matches are pretty booked at this point. So let's talk about it, man. WrestleMania weekend for night 1. The matches, I believe, are night 1. Let's start things off. We got Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. It goes back to Royal Rumble. Jey Uso won. Everybody at my watch party was like, what the hell? Because they just fought each other a week before the Royal Rumble. Gunther won. And at least for me, I didn't leave that match saying, Jey Uso needs a rematch. And I damn sure didn't leave that match saying, Jey Uso might need to win the Royal Rumble and have a rematch at WrestleMania. I definitely did not leave that match saying that. So Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble was the beginning of this whole wrestling community civil war. I feel like you got some people saying, well, y'all were big on Jey Uso. Y'all hype Jey Uso. Y'all turning y'all back on Jey Uso. And I'm on the side of, where is this y'all coming from? Yes, he has the crowd participation with the yeet and all that good stuff, but I don't think you can find anybody outside of the fan interaction to say, Jey Uso, when the bell ring, he can give you a great match. Especially the level Gunther can. Gunther has been carrying this whole feud for the past 3 months. At the beginning, when Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, they tried to combat the internet hate with, well, let's start the show off with Jey Uso. Look at all the fans doing the yeet shit and all that. And that was never the argument with us. We never said, well, Jey Uso is not liked by fans or nothing like that. We're saying when the bell ring, does this man deserve to be World Heavyweight Champion? No. Just because your merch is selling and you got the fan interaction does not mean you need to be World Heavyweight Champion. Especially beating Gunther, who's a thoroughbred. Since Gunther came in the company, he's been booked strong. Last year, they screwed him with Sami Zayn. They had Sami Zayn beat him for the Intercontinental Championship after a historic run, and they did nothing with Sami Zayn after that. It's like, yeah, he had the belt, but what memorable feud did Sami Zayn have with the Intercontinental Championship? That's my whole thing. If you want Jey Uso to win, and if Jey Uso does win, what plans are they going to have for him as World Heavyweight Champion to make me want to tune in week after week? They screwing Gunther now. They even do nothing with Gunther as World Heavyweight Champion. It goes back to building wrestlers, building storylines, and they just been lazy in doing that. You could have had Gunther. I'll take Gunther and Drew McIntyre. Give me Gunther and Braun Breaker. Do something. And then on the Jey Uso side of things, okay, you had him win the Royal Rumble. Me personally, if you want to tell me, let's have Jey Uso defend against Gunther at WrestleMania, what you could have did was just have John Cena win the Royal Rumble, because you got 2 nights of WrestleMania, you got a men and a women Royal Rumble winner, and neither one is main event in WrestleMania, which is the whole fucking purpose of winning the Royal Rumble match. It's the main event WrestleMania. I don't think Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair trumps Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins match. I don't think Gunther and Jey Uso trumps that men triple threat match. And if you want to have John Cena and Cody Rhodes, why not just have John Cena win the Royal Rumble? And then you could have had the Kofi Mania vibe, the Daniel Bryan vibe with Jey Uso and have the fans get behind them. But at the same time, if Jey Uso didn't win the Royal Rumble, nobody would say Jey Uso needs a title shot at WrestleMania against Gunther. And everybody's whole thing is, well, the story is Jey Uso can't win the big one. Whoop-de-whoop. It's damn Gunther. If it was Sami Zayn or somebody like that, I'm like, okay, cool. This is Gunther, the most thoroughbred wrestler they got right now. And you mean to tell me Mr. Spear, Splash, Kick is going to beat Gunther or deserves to beat Gunther at WrestleMania after Gunther lost to Sami Zayn last year? Man, please. Gunther should win in a squash match. If this match is the first match Saturday night, I say Gunther wins in a squash match. If it takes a 3 count to win, Gunther needs to win in 2.5 seconds. Come on, man. The most exciting thing about this feud was when Gunther beat the hell out of Jimmy. And then the next week, they have Jey Uso do a promo in front of Gunther. No physical activity, nothing. He just whooped your brother ass in front of you, and the next week you come back and just do a promo. That's it. When the man's standing right there, not a slap, not a punch, not even a damn super kick. Just I could beat you. I could beat you. Come on, man. And you could have booked Jey Uso a lot stronger within these past few months. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, 2 guys you are made it clear we're going to throw these guys to the bottom of the card. They ain't even mid-card no more. We throwing y'all to the bottom. We teased them breaking up. They didn't break up yet. We're going to have Jey Uso go against them 2 guys in preparation to fight Gunther at WrestleMania. Come on, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, man. Gunther should win. Gunther should win. If Jey Uso does win, I don't think they have anything for him storyline-wise. What feud can Jey Uso have as World Heavyweight Champion to make you be intrigued? If they showed that Gunther, they really didn't have no plans for Gunther. Gunther could just, when the bell ring, Gunther going to give you a good match. Gunther going to whoop somebody's ass and give you a good match. Jey Uso has yet to show me that. Last year, WrestleMania, him and his brother Jimmy stunk up the show. Come on, man. Make it make sense. Next, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. It's been storytelling with this. I thought it was going to be Jade Cargill and Bianca. But, you know, I understand if Jade is still limited in ring, we'll see how that goes with Naomi. Naomi turned heel. She's been great. Jade has been great as well, but it just, for WrestleMania, I appreciate it, you know, 2 black women. I appreciate it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm guessing Jade is going to win. The intriguing thing about this storyline is the fact they had Naomi turn heel. So now after this match, Naomi still has to be heel. Are they going to make her a qualified opponent for a possible women's heavyweight title match against either Tiffany or Charlotte in the future? Jade, what's going to happen with Jade and Bianca? Because at the Elimination Chamber, Jade came back, beat the hell out of Naomi, while Bianca was in the chamber still, in the pod, in the Elimination Chamber still. So after that, it was like, okay, it's going to be Jade, Naomi, Bianca story. And they just threw Bianca in the Raw women's heavyweight title picture, and she has nothing to do with this feud right now. So after this match, after WrestleMania, is Bianca going to come back in on the Jade Naomi feud or what? That's what I'm really intrigued with. Are they going to bring Bianca back in the mix? Because, I mean, they all was partners and they all was friends to start with, but Bianca basically said, hey, that's none of my business right now. I got a title match to prepare for. So we'll see how it goes, but Jade versus Naomi, I'm going to go with Jade Cargill. Next up, we got the Raw Tag Team titles. War Raiders going up against the New Day. Of course, the story being the New Day with this heel turn. But even that heel turn, when you've been goofy for so long, it's hard for me to kind of take you serious as a heel. They're doing the best they can. Kofi and Xavier, they're doing the best they can, but when you've been talking about, you know, blowing the trumpets and throwing out pancakes for so long, and then they had the whole thing was, like I talked about numerous times, we thought one was going to turn heel on the other one. They had this whole situation going on behind the scenes, so they just turned both of them heel. I'm guessing New Day is going to win. They haven't done much with War Raiders. I'm guessing New Day is going to win. Possibly lead up to a New Day Usos match again, maybe in the future. Who knows? But, yeah, this could have happened the night after WrestleMania on Raw, in my opinion. That's why I was surprised to see this. Of course, we had the news of Kevin Owens being injured. So Randy Orton, Kevin Owens probably off the card. So I'm sure they needed, okay, let's put in this tag team match. And they also got the tag team, the women's tag team with Liv and Raquel as well they added. But this War Raiders New Day match could have easily just been saved for the Raw after WrestleMania or maybe the Raw before WrestleMania. I don't think this is really a WrestleMania match in my opinion. So, but I'm going to go with New Day. I'm going to go with New Day. Next up, we got Rey Mysterio going up against El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable. And this is a total slap in the face to Chad Gable, in my opinion. I see a lot of people making jokes about this, like, okay, we know it's Chad Gable. But this is damn near Shorty G level type of shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole thing was, and I want to go back on my word, because the whole thing was, Penta came in, Chad Gable couldn't beat Penta and all that, so he went off to Mexico or somewhere to find somebody to help him with beating luchadors and all that good stuff. But I tweeted when Rey Fenix was announced to be on SmackDown, Penta's brother. I tweeted, don't do the obvious. Don't have Rey Fenix come on Raw and have him team with Penta, Lucha Bros. We understand that's what everybody waiting to see, but put the writers to work. Obviously, with this WrestleMania build, the writers need some damn challenges because they just going with whatever stick at this point. Don't have Rey Fenix linked with Penta so quick and whoop-de-whoop. But if you're going to tell me you're going to do this to Chad Gable, you could have had Rey Fenix signed in the cut and then have Chad Gable be like, oh, this who been teaching me how to beat luchadors, Penta's brother, Rey Fenix. Because now it's not even Chad Gable and Penta no more. They got him with Rey Mysterio. And I think they just show love to Rey Mysterio. Hey, we can't have the legend Rey Mysterio not on WrestleMania. So let's throw him with El Grande Americano, who could have just been Chad damn Gable. Why can't he just be Chad Gable? Man, they really been messing up lately. This whole Gulf of America thing, go back to the political side of things. It's like, bro, what are y'all doing? What type of shit is this? It's Chad Gable. The guys, what's the guy's name? The Creed brothers. I thought they were going to win the tag titles. It's like, what are you doing with this stable? You got the woman, she competing for the women's Intercontinental Championship. She didn't win that. It's like, bro, what are y'all doing? Y'all got a chance to pick up on people's momentum. You messed up LA Knight already, which is the next match. So for Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, give it to damn Chad Gable. Let him take the mask off and beat Chad Gable again, man. This is ridiculous. This is Shorty G type of embarrassment, in my opinion. So have Chad Gable win this match. All love the Rey Mysterio. I'm sure he's confused as well with this storyline and all that, but come on, dog. Come on. Like I say, man, I can care less who wins or loses in these WrestleMania matches. I'm just so confused heading into this weekend, y'all. It don't make no sense. It really don't make no sense. And like I said, going to the next match, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. If Jacob Fatu does not win this match, I'm definitely not watching wrestling for the foreseeable future. LA Knight, you had a chance to capitalize on his momentum years ago with the Money in the Bank situation. He didn't win that. You still put the U.S. title on him. I think this is his second time with the U.S. title, if I'm not mistaken. But that LA Knight spark is definitely not what it was a year ago, year and a half ago, in my opinion. It definitely doesn't hit the same. And now you got him going up against Jacob Fatu, who I really enjoy, who just one of the realest people in the company right now. Give it to Jacob Fatu. I don't know what's going on with Jacob Fatu, Solo, that. I haven't watched SmackDown in a minute. I'm not sure what's going on with them. But give it to Jacob Fatu simply because it's Jacob Fatu. Who else go to give it to at the moment? Give it to Jacob Fatu, man. Tiffany Stratton going up against Charlotte Flair. This is a battle of the generations. And I see a lot of people really bashing this storyline. I haven't watched SmackDown in a while. I heard about the promo with the you're 0-3 in marriages. I saw a clip. Charlotte Flair attached Tiffany Stratton in the parking lot. And from what I'm seeing from the fans online, they're saying like, dang, they really trying their hardest to make us care about this match. Because going back to Royal Rumble, you had Jey Uso win. That started a civil war with the wrestling community. And you had Charlotte Flair win, who when it happened, I said, I mean, in terms of SmackDown, they really don't have another woman in contention. I think you got Bayley? I think Bayley is on SmackDown. I think you got Bayley, Charlotte, Tiffany, and Nia Jax. They're like the only women that I could see in the picture. So that's why I say with Naomi, make her heel, put her in contention, because there's no other women. And a lot of wrestling fans don't really care for Charlotte Flair because she was given that, nepotism, if you want to say. She's Ric Flair's daughter. Anytime she leaves and comes back, she's instantly put in championship title matches. But her work speaks for itself. I mean, when that bell rings, Charlotte Flair is one of one. Tiffany Stratton is the next generation, so I understand it, but the wrestling community, man, one day we feel like this, next day we feel like that. But in terms of storytelling and build, you got to make it work. Like I said, you got about two, really since the Royal Rumble, and they both, Jey and Charlotte Flair, both picked their opponent like 2 weeks after the Royal Rumble. So now you got like 2.5 months to build this story, and of course it's going to get to the point where fans are like, oh, we're getting tired of seeing this. But, I mean, that's the place you put yourself in when you got a stretch of no PLEs and you got to build WrestleMania. You put yourself in the bind. So you got Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair. I think it's going to be a great match. I do think it's going to be a great match. It's kind of hard to go against Charlotte at WrestleMania. If they have Tiffany win, that's a big look for her, but I got to go with Charlotte Flair, man. I got to go with Charlotte. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with the women's division on SmackDown, so I think for the time being, let's just play it safe and give it to Charlotte. I think it's about her, 14th, 15th women's championship probably, so I say give it to Charlotte Flair. And what seems to be the main event for night one, we got the men's triple threat, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. Easily the only storyline they seem to be putting some type of effort into telling. Easily, in my opinion. I think this is the WrestleMania main event of the weekend, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I hear people saying about Cody Rhodes and John Cena, but I mean, they just been doing promos, man. They just been doing promos. In terms of this storyline, Seth, Roman, going back to last year WrestleMania, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, the planned match for last year WrestleMania, the hatred they got between each other, the history, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins got the Paul Heyman factor with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. The story speaks for itself. I don't think none of the title matches, maybe outside of Cody Rhodes and John Cena, was going to trump this match in terms of main event status. This seems to be the only match that really put effort in storyline-wise. It's a lot to keep up with, and it's a lot that can happen in this match because you got the CM Punk favor for Paul Heyman. He's going to be accompanying CM Punk to the ring, and it's going to be a lot. And, it can get kind of tricky with this one. If it was a match I care about, it would be this one. It would be this one. But at the same time, I don't think the winner or loser really matters much. You know what I'm saying? I do want to see a Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins match again, though. I would like to see that once again. I'm a Roman Reigns guy. It would be crazy to have him lose 2 straight WrestleMania matches, though. I rock with CM Punk. I rock with Seth Rollins. The Paul Heyman factor does play a role in the winner of this match, I do feel. This can go either way. The way the company is going right now, with Roman Reigns being the 2K cover athlete, I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns simply because he's on the cover of the new video game. And that's the direction this company seems to be going. Hey, we need to look at the sponsors. We need to look at everybody we in business with. And we need to go with whoever they want us to go with. So I'm going to go with Roman Reigns some way, somehow. But I don't think this feud is over. I think eventually we will get another Seth Rollins Roman Reigns match. I won't be mad at a CM Punk Roman Reigns match. I won't be mad at that, but I'm going to go with Roman Reigns simply because he's on the cover of 2K. That's just how I feel about this WrestleMania, man. I'm going to be honest with y'all. So, night one, my predictions. Gunther versus Jey Uso World Heavyweight Championship match. I'm going with Gunther in a squash match. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I'm going with Jade Cargill. War Raiders versus New Day for the Raw Tag Team titles. I'm going with the New Day. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Chad Gable. I'm going with Chad Gable. Please make it make sense. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title. I'm going with Jacob Fatu. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title. I'm going with Charlotte Flair. And for the triple threat match, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, I'm going with Roman Reigns. Now let's talk about night two of WrestleMania. First off, we got the women's tag team title match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez going up against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I think this is easily the replacement match for the Randy Orton-Kevin Owens match being called off because of Kevin Owens' injury. And a lot of fans were kind of bummed because, one, that would have been a great match. They got, a story going on with them, too. But at the same time, it's like, damn, Randy Orton doesn't have a WrestleMania match. And a lot of fans were saying, last minute, why not put him as the special guest referee for the John Cena-Cody Rhodes match? Because that's a lot of storytelling with Cena and Randy Orton, and, of course, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And that could possibly lead to another Randy Orton-John Cena match, or we finally get the Cody Rhodes-Randy Orton match. But who knows? I did think for a minute when Randy Orton RKO'd Nick Aldis that Nick Aldis would put himself in a match with Randy Orton, because if you haven't already, check out, I want to say it was the first All In before AEW came about. It was Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes, if I'm not mistaken. That was a great match. And Nick Aldis, of course he wears his suit, but he does seem to be still in shape just in case he needs to get in the ring. So I thought this would be a perfect time for that. But who knows? Maybe this week they make it official. Who knows? But I doubt it. But going back to this tag team title match, it's little story involved with this. So I'm just going to say Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez will win. But it would be dope to have Lyra Valkyria, who's the Intercontinental champ, to also have the women's tag team title. That would be a cool two-belt situation. And now that I look at it, is Chelsea Green the only champion without a match on WrestleMania? Let me see. Gunther. Oh, the SmackDown tag team. But I think the SmackDown tag team titles are the night before WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken, with Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns. But, yeah, I think them and Chelsea Green are the only two champions not on the WrestleMania card. I mean, hey, like I said before, man, they just throwing shit at the wall to see what stick. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to retain in that match. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Talk about a failed attempt, man. The story is right there. The story is right there. Last year at WrestleMania, Damian Priest beat Seth Rollins. Not Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre beat Seth Rollins. Of course, finally, Drew McIntyre got his moment in front of the crowd at WrestleMania, winning the belt. He showboated a little bit too much in front of CM Punk, which led to Damian Priest cashing in on him. That's the story. I mean, last year, that's a great story, but it goes back to what I say, man, about Damian Priest. It just doesn't click for me, dog. Like, I don't know if it's the outfits. I don't know if it's his hair. I don't know what it is about Damian Priest, but it just doesn't click with me, man. I don't know. I don't know if he's being held higher than I think he should be held in, like, the heavyweight division. I'm not sure what it is, man, but it just doesn't click with me like I think it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of Drew McIntyre. I just really want him to have a good title run, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's a great person who could be a great heel, but also have great jokes that people would laugh at. You know, I think Drew McIntyre would be a great world heavyweight champion, given a great run. So that's why last year it kind of bumped me out that they planned it like that, to have Damian Priest cash in on him. But I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre winning this match. I'm a Drew McIntyre guy, man. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre winning. Next up, for the men's Intercontinental Championship match, we got Braun Breaker going up against Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Penta. And it goes back to what I say, man. Just because you got the title doesn't mean they got plans with you. I think Braun Breaker, yes, the running around, spearing people is great. The one he did on Carlito recently was great. I enjoy it, but If that's all y'all got to do with the man, just have him come out there and spear people. That's it. That's it. That's all you're going to do. No story building, nothing. Just, he's going to come out, he's going to spear people. I guess. Dominic, man, he's not there yet, man. I understand it. He come out, people boo him. I get it. He's not there yet. Penta, I love Penta. Not yet. Finn Balor should win this match, man. Finn Balor should win this match. Wrestling fans have been calling for Finn Balor to have some type of great run with a belt. Let Finn Balor win this match, man. A lot of people think Dominic is going to win. It's not time yet, man. It's not time. I won't be mad at Penta. I won't be mad at it, but I want to see Finn Balor get this champ, man. If you can't put him in the World Heavyweight Championship match, man, let him get an Intercontinental title. Let him get an Intercontinental title. Then, if you want to let the feud with him and Dominic transpire, it's been teasing of this new member, Judgment Day, or all that good stuff. Then build that story. That's what I want to see. Have Finn Balor win this match, and then build a story with him and Dominic separating the Judgment Day, and maybe at SummerSlam or something, have Dominic beat Finn for the belt. But let Finn have a good run with the Intercontinental title match, and then move Braun Breaker up into the World Heavyweight Championship title contention. That's what I say, dude. But none of this matters in terms of wins and losses this weekend if they don't have plans for these people, man. If they don't have plans for people, it doesn't matter who gets the belt or who doesn't get the belt. What I would like to see happen, Finn Balor win, build that story with him and Dominic throughout the summer, and also have Braun Breaker in the World Heavyweight Championship match and figure out what to do with Penta. You can figure something out with Penta. Next up, we got AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I would love to have a time machine give me 2004 to 2006 AJ Styles going up against Logan Paul. That would be a hell of a match. I think it's going to be a hell of a match even with AJ Styles being up in age. Logan Paul had just showed whether you like him or you don't. When that bell ring, he's going to be committed to doing his job. I would like to see AJ Styles win because I'm a huge AJ Styles fan, been a huge AJ Styles fan for about 20 years now. So I say have AJ Styles win. I really say have AJ Styles win, but I won't be mad at Logan Paul winning, but give it to AJ, man. Give it to AJ. I would love for this Mania, and it might be just me being too much of a wrestling fan or me thinking too deep. I would love for this WrestleMania to be different in terms of the quote-unquote Triple H guys winning. I've been saying it for a minute now. I think it's very clear who's the Triple H guys compared to who the fans would like to see win. I think it's kind of like damn near like a hand pick. Like, yeah, we're going to have Rhea Ripley involved regardless. We're going to have Jey Uso involved regardless. We got to have the Triple H people involved. I don't know if it's just me thinking too deep, but I do feel like it's a hierarchy in terms of who people are handpicked to. You know, we know how the business go, man. But I want to see AJ Styles beat Logan Paul. Next up for the Raw Women's Heavyweight title match, we got Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. I think a lot of people, when Bianca won the Elimination Chamber match, I think a lot of people kind of had it set it's going to be Rhea versus Bianca. Then they had Io beat Rhea for the belt. So I'm still like, okay, cool. Io versus Bianca, that's going to be a great match. But then they kind of forced Rhea into it. People was calling like from the WrestleMania 20 triple threat match. It's like, I understand it, but at the same time, Io and Bianca got a great point. It's like y'all kind of forced Rhea into this match. Like she lost. It was a disqualified match when Bianca was the referee. Not just because she was being petty. It's like it was a DQ on Rhea part. It's like she got DQ'd. Like it wasn't like no just so happened she got DQ'd. It's like no, Bianca had every right to disqualify Rhea in that match. So it should have just been Io versus Bianca. But you got to have Rhea. You got to have one of the top women involved. You got to have her in WrestleMania, nonetheless, in the World Championship match. So she kind of forced her way into it. And it's like, a lot of fans are like, hey, we got to call a spade a spade. It's like, there's kind of some favoritism going on with that. So if you're going to do that, why not just have Rhea beat Io those weeks ago and just have Rhea versus Bianca? I don't know, man. I don't know. But Io is in that bracket with them as well as one of the top women. So it's like, I guess they're thinking we can't have one of the top women not in the women's championship match. So it was just very tricky how they did that play. And they didn't make it no secret or nothing. They showed favoritism to Rhea Ripley, putting her in this match. Because she lost against Io. Then she got disqualified in the match with Bianca with special guest referee on her own accord. It ain't like Bianca was being petty. So, yeah, I don't know, man. And then what make it even crazier is, like I say, after this match, is Bianca going back to be involved with the Naomi and Jade Cargill storyline or what? Rhea Ripley, that would be stupid favoritism to have her win. That would be stupid favoritism to have Rhea Ripley win this match after all those hurdles y'all had going leading up to this match and like just forcing her into it. That would be crazy. Io Sky, I think she deserves a good run because she's the odd person out of this match. That's another thing with this match. Io, the champion, is the odd person out. I don't know, man. I say Bianca. Ain't Bianca like undefeated right now at WrestleMania or something? I say give it to Bianca and figure it out afterwards. This WrestleMania is going to be very interesting to watch. It's going to be very intriguing to sit back and just see how do they plan on doing this. And then after WrestleMania, what else is going to happen? I'm very intrigued. And, of course, the main event, undisputed title match, we got Cody Rhodes going up against John Cena. Now, goes back to what I said about Jey Uso. Could have had Cena just win the Royal Rumble, and we had this match. Now, I did love the heel turn at Elimination Chamber. I did. That was one of the shocking moments of wrestling that I can remember. It was very shocking. I was like, whoa. But for some of us, like, yeah, it was a heel turn, but it's like, damn, finally. At the same time, it's like, yeah, it was a heel turn, but, and I was thinking, it's like, damn, there's a lot of generations involved with this because it's some kids who only know Cena for being the bright colored, salute, all that, John Cena. And there's some of us who remember the white rapper heel John Cena. Even though I was like, that heel turn at Elimination Chamber, that wasn't like a white rapper heel turn. But afterwards, you got the promos. You got the promos, and you got Cena coming out saying, y'all booed me when I was the good guy, and I did everything right. Y'all booed me, whoop-de-whoop. In my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, you were booed, but it was because you was kind of forced on us because Vince McMahon and Cody Rhodes spoke on that. It was like, they chose me when the people in the back chose you. And in my thought, I was like, Cody, wait a minute now, because when Cody Rhodes left AEW and he came to WWE to face Seth Rollins in that WrestleMania match, I knew then, I said it numerous times, you can run the tape back. When Cody Rhodes jumped ship after leaving AEW, I said Cody Rhodes didn't jump ship and just be like, yeah, I'm on the roster. He negotiated something. And like I said, if he didn't have that torn pec, he was probably going to beat Roman Reigns probably at that SummerSlam or something. But they just had to make it work the way, okay, he got the torn pec, he come back at Royal Rumble. Of course, a lot of people thought he was going to win at WrestleMania 39, but they had to go up until WrestleMania 40 and all that good stuff. I don't think Cody Rhodes came back and the fans' support of him had them think, oh, let's put him in the title position. No, he came back and he negotiated what he's coming back for. He got the torn pec because normally, not normally, but what happened was when he had that torn pec and he left, by the time Royal Rumble came back, it was Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. The fans was like, hey, I mean, this Sami Zayn story kind of crazy. I don't know we need, Cody Rhodes involved with Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. This Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns story, kind of good. But we know what happened. So I don't think Cody Rhodes just came back and the fan support got him in the title position. I think he negotiated that. So it's kind of similar to John Cena, to where Cena was just like, you beat the Nexus by yourself and you beating up Umaga, and it was just like, damn, this dude go ever lose? And you had CM Punk had to come out and do the pipe bomb and all that good stuff, and The Miz and The Rock, and it was like a whole bunch of stuff Cena had to do to start losing at WrestleMania and all that good stuff. But the promos could have been a little bit stronger in my opinion. Cena coming back after the heel turn with the same song and the same outfits and all that, it did kind of put a damper on it for a minute. What I would like to happen, instead of coming back with the red and just have all black with no graphics on the shirt, just black hat, black shirt, black shorts, black shoes. I would have liked that better off than the same music. And if you want to be real, just come out with no music and just walk down the aisle and with all black on. That would have been fine. But we're in a situation where you seen one John Cena match, you seen them all. You seen one Cody Rhodes match, you seen them all. And after last year booking, I don't know, The Rock hasn't been seen, Travis Scott hasn't been seen. People are wanting that Rock and Stone Cold moment because Stone Cold and Bret Hart match is in the Hall of Fame, and I'll be honest, all due respect to the Hall of Fame, but just to see how they're doing the Hall of Fame this year can tell you it's kind of like what's going on behind the scenes, kind of everywhere at this point. But a lot of people are itching for that Rock Stone Cold moment. We thought we were going to get it last year, but it was The Undertaker. Cool, but that glass break and The Rock and Stone Cold are face-to-face, that's a little bit different than The Undertaker. All due respect to The Undertaker, but Rock Stone Cold, that would be a moment. So we'll see how it goes. I say give it to John Cena because this is his last year, and I think, like I said before, that's the only storyline I'm really intrigued to see. Because this is like the first time we get to really see a wrestler go off on their own accord, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, y'all, this is my last year. We're going to do this heel turn. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Like, just give John Cena a great year. Not to say he got to have the belt all the way up until his last match of the year, but make it make sense. And let it start now. Cody Rhodes been a champ for over a year now. Had some cool matches, but none of which I'll be like, you know. I think the most memorable moment of Cody Rhodes' title run, the match he had with Kevin Owens, I think Elimination Chamber, that was cool. And when him and AJ Styles fought, when the crowd, the France crowd, was going crazy for AJ Styles, that's the one thing I remember about that match, when they were chanting for AJ Styles. He's phenomenal. And they're like the only two things I really remember from Cody Rhodes' title reign. Like, I understand it. Like, he got the belt. He's the new John Cena. I understand it, but have John Cena win this match. So, night 2, WrestleMania, my predictions. Women's tag team titles, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez going up against Bayley and Lyra. I say give it to Liv and Raquel. Damian Priest going up against Drew McIntyre. I got Drew McIntyre. Braun Breaker versus Dominic versus Penta versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. I say give it to Finn Balor. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I got AJ Styles. Women's World Heavyweight title match, Io Sky going up against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. I say Bianca Belair. And for the undisputed title, we got Cody Rhodes going up against John Cena. I got John Cena. So like I said before, y'all, I'm very intrigued to see how this WrestleMania goes. I hope the matches are better than the storylines. I hope the matches are just, wow, like, damn the storyline, this is just a great match. I hope that's what I leave WrestleMania weekend saying. Like, storyline aside, these were some great matches. That's the only thing they got to hold on to right now, in my opinion. And after WrestleMania, what's going to happen? Do we got plans for certain wrestlers? What are the plans for the title holders? Make it make sense, because this past 3 months been kind of everywhere. Since Netflix, I've been like, okay, is somebody else making decisions? Are they going by sponsors, or what's going on? Because it just hasn't clicked to where I thought it was going to click. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes. But there's been a new episode of Stash House Podcast. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week, a great school week. Stay safe. Be mindful of your surroundings. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.